Rip Arbiter. Yeah, apparently for those of you that don't have her, things are about to get harder, or should I say they're not going to be as easy as they used to be, which also brings up the question of, is it now going to be possible to beat the records of the free-to-play Arbiters? We're going to find that out in today's video. Before we get started, let me quickly point out that I will be streaming tonight on Twitch at 7:30 Eastern Time, like I typically do, and we will be having a gem giveaway where you can convert your free loyalty points into tickets to have a chance at winning. Now, on to this announcement by Plarium, which was just released a couple minutes ago, and it has to do with the current state of the arena. A lot of us were thinking bot accounts were added to the arena to make things easier, which allowed us to complete the missions faster, especially for free-to-play players, which is why we saw a bunch of records in a short period of time, which I'll get to in a couple seconds. But now, as it stands, it would seem that this is the new way the matchmaking is going to work. So those so-called bot accounts were perhaps only added, or a result basically of them adding more segments to the servers, which means that we're now encountering a broader number of accounts, and a lot of them were weaker, and it made it seem like you were able to get a whole series of pages of easy accounts. I still believe that this was somewhat controlled by Plarium, and it seems now that perhaps the matchmaking is finally stabilizing. But here's how they break this down for us. As you may remember, in October 2020, the new matchmaking system was introduced in the classic arena. The creation of a list of opponents with roughly similar accounts of levels and player powers is how this was now done. The new matchmaking system, amongst other things, would calculate the difference in the player's power when forming the list. They're saying that this allowed for a fair competition between bronze and silver tiers. However, the gold tier is the most competitive one, so it doesn't filter opponents by account power, but uses the current arena placement in the main criteria. That's why, upon entering the gold tier, you might experience a greater difficulty in further progression as you encounter a much broader list of opponents. Then they finish by saying that the gold tier is where the strongest players go, that basically they have better gear, better skills, more champions, and therefore if you want to keep fighting in that tier, you're going to have a good roster of your own. They're also saying that it is, yes, getting harder, but that is how it should be. They do specify, however, that last fall, all of you witnessed low-level accounts appearing in the gold tier of the classic arena, and it helped a lot of players reach gold relatively easily in a short period of time. So this is my reference to the free-to-play accounts. The reason why those accounts appeared in the game was that they added more segments to the server, as I said before, so that the load would distribute more evenly and the server would feel better during the activity peaks. As the result of it, low-level accounts started occasionally appearing in all tiers, since the algorithm started to take these new segments into account and defining opponents in all tiers. Still, this was a temporary phenomenon. It couldn't last forever. We realized back then that those accounts would disappear from gold eventually. That was rather a deviation than a new order of things. As time passed, weaker accounts were gradually demoted to lower tiers, and the gold tier has become as competitive as intended, again yet confirming that this is how they want the gold tier to be. And all of this to explain that they want the Arbiter missions to be harder, because the classic arena is closely related to those, and because Arbiter is not a regular champion, she's a top legendary considered to be the ultimate game reward for a long time. Thus, the missions should not be easy to complete, or in other words, they should be hard. They are saying, however, that they will monitor basically the situation by checking the analytics. They don't want this to become a mission impossible. So one of two things can happen here, in my opinion. Players will get upset with this. They're going to do more tweaking to the arena. It's going to get easy again, or they're going to change the missions entirely with the addition of the new upcoming missions for the next champion. Overall, I'm not quite happy about this, because for all of us that were able to progress and get Arbiter as free-to-play or regular players, we've been able to take advantage, or we've exploited this system for us to get here. So for all of you other guys that are going to try and do this, you're going to hit a wall, and it is going to be extremely unfair. So I really think that they should review the missions as soon as possible so that you guys have a better progression. that is just my 2 cents on the subject. But then here's a quick overview of these recent sort of like challenges that we had for free-to-play arbiters. And this is why I'm saying rip the free-to-play arbiter records. We're not going to see a new record for a long time. I started this a couple of months ago. This is not all of them, but here's a quick overview of a roster of a guy that did it in about 100 and so days. Then we had a guy that did it in about 94 days. Eventually we got somebody that did it in about 90 days, and recently, as part of the Chosen challenge, this guy did it in 63 days. This will not be possible anymore, in my opinion. I want to have your thoughts on the subject in the comments below. Are you guys surprised about all this? What do you think? As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later.